Today, we're tackling something pretty crucial in business.
Yeah, how you actually connect with, the real decision makers,
Yeah.
the top leaders.
Exactly. And we've got some interesting material here from Allura Creative Agency. It's about their approach to executive engagement events.
Right, and our job really is to pull out the key strategies from this. How can organizations effectively engage with these really high-level folks?
Think of it as getting the inside track on creating real conversations and connections at that top tier.
hmm And the documents lay out several different types of events they use.
Okay, let's unpack those. First up, exclusive industry roundtables. Sounds quite, well, exclusive.
It is, and that's kind of the point. The real value there is the intimacy. You get a select group of peers, top executives, in one room. It builds trust, encourages people to share more openly.
So you get insights you wouldn't normally hear in, like, a big conference hall.
Precisely. It's that peer-driven conversation, that valuable, sometimes unspoken stuff.
Okay. Then they talk about high-impact executive summits. How is that different? Feels bigger.
It generally is bigger. Summits are more about shaping the industry conversation, making a statement.
Oh.
And they're geared towards fostering those significant partnerships, positioning the hosting organization as a real leader in the field, broader impact.
Gotcha. And executive fireside chats. That sounds more relaxed.
Yeah, it implies a more personal dialogue, usually with one or two really prominent executives or thought leaders.
So less about networking, more about deep diving with a specific individual.
Exactly. Focused insights, building a direct connection with that key person. It's a different kind of engagement.
Makes sense. Allura also lists C-suite networking events.
Yeah.
But isn't all networking, well, networking?
Fair point. But I think the emphasis here is on meaningful interaction.
Okay.
It's about engineering opportunities for genuine connection among those top leaders. Think shared challenges, real collaboration potential, not just, exchanging business cards.
Right, quality connections. They also mention something for startups, founder forums.
Yeah, these are tailored specifically for founders. It's about creating a space where they can collaborate, share insights on the unique hurdles they face.
A specific kind of ecosystem networking.
Exactly. And finally, thought leadership webinars. How do you get a top exec onto a webinar? They're busy people.
That's the challenge, right?
The key has to be the content. It needs to offer genuinely cutting-edge insights, stuff they can actually use.
So positioning the brand as an innovator, providing real value.
That's the idea. Make it worth their time.
What's really striking is the range of industries they say this works for. Tech, finance, healthcare, even nonprofits. They call it industry agnostic.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
How does one approach work across such different fields?
Well, I think the underlying idea is that while the specific, problems might differ sector to sector, the core needs of leaders at that level are often quite similar. They want strategic insights, valuable connections, pathways to growth and innovation. That seems universal.
Okay, that makes sense. So what makes their events stand out? What are the differentiators they highlight?
They point to a few things. First, getting the right people in the room, genuinely high-level, influential leaders. That's crucial.
Attendance quality, got it.
Second, the focus isn't just on a one-off meeting. It's about fostering deeper, lasting relationships, not just transactional stuff.
Building real connections.
And third, they talk about this fortune and follow-up idea.
Oh, what's that?
It sounds like a systematic approach. They mention a proprietary executive engagement engine focused on making sure those connections actually turn into, measurable results, profitable outcomes.
Right, so it's not just the event itself, but the whole process, including what happens after.
Exactly. The follow-through is key.
Okay, so let's recap the big takeaways here. It seems to be about really strategic event design based on your goal.
Right. Choosing the right format.
Knowing it can work across many industries if you focus on core executive needs, making sure you attract those truly senior people, aiming for real relationship building.
And having a solid plan, that engine, for follow-up to get actual results.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just booking a room and sending invites.
It's a whole strategic function, really.
So a final thought for you, our listener. Looking at these different formats, the roundtables, summits, chats, and so on, which one feels like it might be the best fit for your specific goals when trying to engage top leaders?
And maybe just as important, what's the one single thing you think you'd absolutely have to nail to make that chosen format a success?
Something to think about. That wraps up this deep dive.